What are the most positive things happening in the world right now that people don't think of? It's so easy to repopulate the earth of rare plants now through tissue culture. 2 years ago Brazil was freaking out trying to keep their last remaining Spiritus sancti plants to themselves, and today, anyone can have them in their house and there is no market for poachers. This guy honked at me for not going on green light fast enough, then caught up to me at the next light, rolled down his window and apologized for having a bad day, and then drove off and waved. Also, interest in sustainable housing is growing all the time. Things like earthships and rammed earth houses are gaining ground slowly. Pandas are no longer an endangered species. A few global public health things. We have made tremendous progress on ending the AIDS epidemic in the last 40 years. The percentage of adults that smoke cigarettes is lower than it has been historically. We went from like 800,000 cases of guinea worm in the world in the late 80s to 12 in 2022. For the first time in decades there have been Iberian lynx sightings in the region of Madrid. 2 sightings in the last week, huge news as this species is among the most endangered animals in the world. Coral reefs are being grown back at higher temperatures, and scientists at MIT have figured out a reliable and cheap way to desalinate water. Edit, thanks for all the responses. I am at the hospital with my mother this day, which really turned on me. Edit update, my mother survived the emergency surgery. The chief surgeon said she would not have made it another 2 hours. Sorry for the weird personal information, but I figured I should at least update that it ended well. After being diagnosed with breast and colon cancer last fall, my mom is, as of today, officially cancer-free. California's Lake Oroville is now back at being 100 full after being dangerously low from years of drought. For the first time ever, the ambulance company I work for has a good amount of employees, so everyone isn't severely overworked. More people than ever before have access to clean drinking water and basic sanitation, which is saving thousands of lives. I finally got prescribed proper pain medication and I no longer want to die most days. Honeybees are at an all-time high, and are now considered overpopulated. The whole Save the Bees was never made for honeybees, but instead other species such as the mining bees. My lazy ass decided I should finally go in for a physical, and it turns out they found a thoracic aortic aneurysm that could have killed me instantly. Having open heart surgery in the next few days to fix it. Crocodiles like pink flowers, and I think we should talk about that more. My very old cat got her blood work done today and everything seems to be great. My foster daughter told me she loved me. Though I got let go on Monday, a ton of people I have worked with or otherwise built great relationships with have reached out in support and offered assistance of all kinds. Restoring my faith in humanity. People are becoming more trauma-informed, facing their wounds, and making sure the next generation's burden will be at least a little lighter. This is silly, but I got a new job in a field I love after job hunting for ages and working so many jobs I hated, and I'm happier than I've been in a very long time. I feel like my life finally has direction. We have more knowledge and connectivity at our fingertips than ever before. Our ancestors may have only had a 5th grade education, but we can Google lecture videos of nuclear physics. HIV/VE may soon have a cure, and it turns negative. Case of negative being positive news. I think ozone layer is slowly healing itself as well as my depression. Some garage scientists in Germany have invented energy production plants that create green hydrogen from literally every kind of waste you can imagine. It will revolutionize local and state energy production to a never-seen-before level. The company is called unnoticed and is based in Switzerland. I became a doctor yesterday. I found love again for the first time since being widowed 4 years ago. I recently bought a small but modest home that I can call my own. And I got a pay rise. I genuinely feel the most at peace I have in 4 years. Cancer is getting easier and easier to treat and less lethal. Age-reversing technology might be around the corner, likely only available for the ultra-rich unless society does something. Some lakes in California are at 100 capacity due to the heavy rains during the winter-spring. I don't mean to sound conceited or anything, but I am almost to my goal of 200 pounds, currently at 210, started at 316 2 years ago. This is very small, but roughly 5 years ago I had tried to off myself. I was at an awfully low point in life, and had been since I was quite young, was convinced I'd never grow out of it, I would always suffer. While there are still bad days, I can confidently say I'm glad I didn't succeed, and I wake up happy to be here. It's small, but finally getting my lifelong depression managed, and beginning to seriously manage my PTSD has changed my life for the better. The ozone layer issue, which was a nightmare back in the 90s, is actually going much better than expected. I stopped drinking. I've escaped generational poverty. Edit. Thank you, kind stranger, for the award, and thank you, kind strangers, for your responses. It's been a rough journey as a young 20-year-old. I finally can afford a vet for my dogs. My oldest daughter has been through hell with a mother that has chosen drugs over her. She lost a sword fight, long story, but she had to have facial reconstructive surgery. She got the virus, something awful, and a ton of things that amount to a lot of stress in the last year of high school. Through it all, she graduated at the top of her class and is now studying astrophysics at the University of Austin as a happy and healthy young adult. One proud dad here. Using 3D printing and other newer tech to build schools and other important facilities in Africa and other places alike. Progress being made on cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, spectrum disorders, HIV. My uncle got HIV in 1982 and died less than 6 months later. It took months just to figure out what he actually had, and when they did, there was very little they could do anyhow. We are getting closer with the prototype fusion reactor. More interest is shown in space travel. The world is more accessible for and accepting of disabled people than it has ever been, allowing millions of people to live more independent lives. Child mortality is way down. People are voluntarily limiting their fertility by using birth control, so there is no population bomb to speak of. Extreme poverty is much lower than it has been in previous decades. There's still good people in this world. This is a personal one. I've got pretty bad anxiety, self-esteem issues, don't have any friends, never had any kind of relationship with a female, neither intimate or just casual friends. I recently started talking to this girl in my gym that I really like. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but at least now I have a female friend who I can build my experience confidence when talking to women. In winning the small battles. I don't have the genetic cancer gene that killed half my family, including my dad. It's life-changing for me. Edit. Whoa, this blew up. Thank you for all the kind messages and the awards. It was some stressful years, with getting checked every 6 months. Especially the last half year was intense. So you guys are making me cry of happiness. Simple acts of kindness from normal people. There are many random people who do good and simple acts all the time. Things that make you laugh, smile and believe in this world as a suitable place for the next generations. The other day I saw a humble gentleman pick up a child who slipped and was crying. He comforted him, cleaned his jacket and continued on his way. This never appears in the news, but it is important to know that they do happen. Millions of trees being planted. The US is close to becoming the largest contributor to renewable energy. I know this will probably disappear in all the comments, but thank you for posting this. My grandma died a few nights ago and I'm 3,000 miles away from my family. I needed some positivity this morning. Last night